Just came back from Trinidad Carnival on the Epic Carnival Cruise. Here is my 100% opinion as someone that went in 2023 as well. For those that don't know, the Epic Carnival is a premium all-inclusive experience for Trinidad Carnival. If you have ever planned to go to Trinidad Carnival, you know how expensive it can be to stay in a hotel or finding availability at a hotel and guest house. And sometimes it's very difficult to get into some of the premium and all-inclusive fets. So enter Epic Carnival and they give you a place to stay with unlimited food and drinks and access to a couple of the popular fets. Now, this was not my first time going to Trinidad and Tobago or participating in Trinidad Carnival, but if it was a first time person going, I think it's a great option because it gets people a little more comfortable and everybody looks out for everyone too. So the price for an interior cabin was about $6,000 for two people. So we paid about $3,000 each to stay there. In comparison to 2023 when I went, I paid about the same price with my costume with robe. I want to say in January they announced that they had a section with Tribe, but you could play with any mass band you wanted to. Even though I paid around the same price between this year and the last time, the cruise last time was from a Thursday to Ash Wednesday, and this year it was from Wednesday to Friday. So 9 days versus 6 days. There were 2 days at sea, and we left from Puerto Rico instead of Barbados. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about the fets. The fets that were included in the Epic Carnival experience were duckwork. They had the One Caribbean Music Festival that got canceled. So they included a show at Marshall, but we found out when we were in duckwork that they included the show at Marshall. It also included Soca Brainwash as well as Panorama, which is a national event, the Pan competition, as well as Juve with Coco Devils. They also included activities on the ship while we were at sea and during the course of the time. Like they had a workout class with Spinny, they had a whining class with Luna, yoga, they had a comedy show, as well as themed parties like an all-white party, Casino Royale. It was really cute. And unlike 2023, we got to spend a couple hours in Tobago on Pigeon Point. The food in comparison to 2023 was way better to me. It had a lot of Trinidadian foods like bus up shot, it had curry goat, it had pilau, they had some barbecue pigtail, they had sauce and all of that. I didn't have sauce, I don't like sauce. But it had food that you would normally eat if you were in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as other Caribbean favorites. Like they had jerk chicken. I don't remember seeing oxtail, but they might have had some oxtail. And then they had other international cuisines as a cruise normally would. Dinner at the restaurant was more themed towards the cruise. It wasn't really Trinidadian food. And they had a little snack area that had like pizza and salads and things like that, little light bites when the restaurants and the buffet was closed. Transport. Compared to 2023, the transport was a little bit different. Now, before in 2023, we paid for transport before we left. This time, the transport was only available the day of. So we paid for transportation in advance to whichever fest we were going to. This time, you had to pay when you got there. So if you didn't have any money, which I think is not responsible, you couldn't pay for transport. And they was only accepting cash. Prior, you just used the Eventbrite link and you paid with your credit card or your debit card or whatever. And then you showed proof that you paid for the transport and you got your wristband. Also, last time there was transportation readily available. This time it was 2 options for pickup and 2 options for drop off. So what we ended up doing was getting our own transport, and he was able to take us to wherever we needed to go. They also included live performances by artists, and the comedy show included Major Hype and Junior Lee. But the artists that I saw perform were Sharon Winchester, Destra, Mr. Vegas, Conscience, Rupi, Allison Hines, and Tobago. Jimmy October was there, which I absolutely loved. I heard that Nessa Preppy was there. Some of the DJs there were Private Ryan, International Steven, DJ Kevin from Toronto, DJ Judgment, Travis World was there. So you got live entertainment as well. The DJs were good. I want to say that I enjoyed the all white party. It wasn't like last year where it rained in the middle of the fair, but it was still good. They played a good mix of soca from around the islands on most of the parties. I also went to the Casino Royale, which was pretty good. Thing was they had like a ball drop, like a welcome to the Epic Carnival experience, which is really nice. Duckwork, I thoroughly enjoyed the food, the drinks, the entertainment at Duckwork was really, really good. Upset that I didn't get to go to the Marshall show, but they pretty much told us like right before it started that we had access to it. Soca Brainwash is always a good time. I loved the theme. One thing in comparison to last year, Soca Brainwash was not included in the basic package. It was included in the premium package. So they didn't have a premium package for Fets this year, which was different. I find that there were more Fets that were available last time than this time. I did not go to Panorama, which was included, but I did go to the Dimashkra and the Savannah. My mom got comp tickets, so I ended up going with her, and I really, really enjoyed that. I can't talk about Juve because I did not do Juve with Coco Devils. I played with Secret Juve, and Secret Juve had all my favorite DJs, so 10 out of 10. Monday, Tuesday, again, you could play with any bass band that you want. So I can't talk about the Monday and Tuesday experience as far as the cruise. But I did one road with Caesar's Army, which was a Monday option. It was kind of like a t-shirt band, but you could either wear the Monday wear that they had available, or you could do your own Monday wear. I chose to do my own Monday wear as a midnight robber, and I was down in Independence Square for a little bit, taking pictures and all of that, and then I went to the Savannah and I met Caesar's Army for the roadblock, which was like their last lap. Tobago, I loved that it included a day in Tobago, well, a couple hours in Tobago. I love Tobago. I go to Tobago all the time. So just being able to experience a carnival cool down in Tobago was really good for me. We went to Pigeon Point. They had food and drinks available for purchase, but the maxis were available. There's a half hour from the cruise port to Pigeon Point, so they had maxis readily available. You didn't have to pay for it or anything, but that was a nice option. In Tobago at Pigeon Point, they actually had a stage, so you could be fed in on the beach as well as in the water. I have been to a couple of fets in Pigeon Point, and you never have the option, at least for me, to fet in the water as well as on the beach, so I thought that was pretty cool. And they also had a truck that had people performing, and they had a pan side. Overall, I would give the Epic Carnival experience a good 7 out of 10. For a first timer, it is perfect. If you are well seasoned and you just don't really want to plan anything, it's real good. It also gives you the flexibility to include or exclude whatever you wanted when you would in Trinidad and Tobago. The 9 days was just too long for me. Like, I could have spent the same 9 days in Trinidad and Tobago, so I missed a couple of things that I wanted to. So that is my review. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.